everyone, welcome to Eden Secret and episode 14 of Soap Making from Scratch. Can you believe it's episode 14 already? My name is Karen Morland and I've been making soap for 15 years and I'm wanting to pass on all of my information that I've learned onto you so you can make perfect soap, which means that you don't have to waste a fortune learning how to make soap. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it today. If you haven't seen episodes 1 through 13, I'll put an information card in the top right hand corner of the screen now. If you click on that, you'll see a playlist. Also, I'll put the playlist in the description box below the video if you prefer to do it with a link that way, and you can watch episodes 1 through to episode 13, and if you don't want to do that, this is episode 14 for you today. So we're making a clay soap again today, but this will be the last video we're making, well, for the time being, of a soap with clay. So what I thought I'd do, I thought I'd change it up a little bit and put more clay in than you're supposed to. But the ingredients we're going to be using today are coconut oil, which, because it's very warm, it's fairly liquidy at the moment. We're actually using palm oil today. It's sustainable palm oil, meaning that it's been farmed sustainably, and that is a really good thing. We're using avocado butter. We're using mango butter, organic mango butter. We are using olive oil, which I just get from the supermarket. We're using sweet almond oil, which I get from Just a Soap. I'm using castor oil, also from Just a Soap. You're going to need some caustic soda, also known as sodium hydroxide. That's how you make soap. You can't make soap without it. Not proper soap anyway. You can make liquid soap with a different type of hydroxide. That's potassium hydroxide. We're using sodium hydroxide because we're making solid soap. Potassium hydroxide is only for liquid soap. So you're also going to need a set of weighing scales. You will need a good mask. I like the Arco masks. They have this rubber band around, so when you put your nose in there, there is nothing going to be getting in through the sides. The medical masks, they'll help somewhat, but they're not good enough because particles can still get in around the side of your mask. You're also going to need some rubber gloves and some goggles. Okay, here is our recipe today. Type of lye, NaOH, weight of oils is in grams, and we're going to have 851 grams of oil. Our water as a percentage of oils is 25, super fat 5% with no fragrance. So the oils we're using today is coconut oil, palm oil, olive oil, sweet almond oil, avocado butter for a change, mango butter for a change, and castor oil. So they are our ingredients in grams. We want 225 grams coconut oil, 185 grams palm oil, 165 grams olive oil, 150 grams sweet almond oil, 50 grams avocado butter, 50 grams mango butter, and 26 grams castor oil. Just calculate your recipe, make sure it adds up to 851 and it's 100%. View or print your recipe. Okay, so print in your recipe. We're going to call this the Eden Secret Week 14 soap recipe. And just check that everything on your information is exactly what it's supposed to be. Total oil weight is 851 grams. You'll see we've got it in grams, ounces, pounds and percentages, so that you can choose whichever way you want to do it. Check your soap qualities, make sure they're all within the limits, and they are today. So let's go and make soap. Okay, so here we have the Eden Secret week 14 recipe. I just want to point out to you that usually I always suggest around a 50-50% measurement of solid oils to liquid oils. Actually, what I've done today is I've done more of a 60-40, because I actually like a 60-40. I suggest 50-50 when you're new, just to be on the safe side, but you can build it up a little bit. You can't go overboard though. Don't go putting 75% solid oils in and 25% liquid, because your soap, it'll move that fast, it'll accelerate so fast that you won't be able to do anything with it. In a way, it doesn't matter if you're not going to be adding colours and fragrances, but further down the line we want to be adding colours and fragrances, and that has a massive impact on how your soap batter accelerates. So if you don't want to do a 60-40, which is basically more or less what this is today, just adjust your solid oils. Just knock a little bit off your coconut, a little bit off your palm, a little bit off your avocado butter, and a little bit off your mango seed butter. It won't make that much difference. You won't be able to tell any difference in how that soap bar performs or feels or anything, just by knocking a little bit off each one. But you'll need to add it onto your other oils, so you'll need to increase your sweet almond oil and your olive oil if you're going to reduce your coconut oil and palm. You know what I'm saying. So the recommended usage level for clay is 1 teaspoonful per pound of soap batter, 2 teaspoonfuls per kilo of soap batter. Now I'm going to be crazy today because I just want to see what's going to happen. Our soap weight before cure, that this is our oils and our lime mixed together to make the soap, is 1,184, so it's about 1.2 kilos, which is getting up to near £3 if you're working in pounds and ounces. Right, now then, what I'm going to do today, so generally if that was 1.5 kilos, generally I would put 2, 4, 6 teaspoonfuls of clay into this recipe. I would actually put 5 because it's not 1.5 kilos in weight, it's 1.2. So I'm going to do something crazy and I'm going to put a lot more in than that. I just want to see what happens. There probably is a recommended usage level for how much clay you're allowed to put in soap, but I don't think it'll be that low. I think you'll probably be able to put quite a lot of clay in your soap. So I just want to do this for the hell of it, basically, to see what happens. So I'm actually going to put 8 teaspoons of pink clay into this recipe. Now I do have other clays, but I'm going to use those in the future. You don't need to see me in soap making from scratch do every single clay that I've got and every single milk that you can buy, or do you? Let me know if you do in the comments. But generally, whichever clay you get, it's going to be more or less the same usage level in the soap batter. So I think 2 episodes with clay is more than enough. And we're going to put 8 teaspoonfuls of pink clay in today, because I want to see if I can feel that in the soap. And And this would be a beautiful, beautiful soap for the face. But we'll wait until we test it at the very end of the video. I always test the soap straight after I've cut it to see what the lather and the feel and everything's like, and the slip. So let's go and make this soap, shall we? Okay, so let's get down to weighing out all of our oils and butters. Now, you always start in your pot with your solid oils because we need to melt those thoroughly in the microwave. Don't overheat them though, because you can burn them. You know what chip fat smells like if it's been on too long? Well, it's just the same with these oils. Now, if you wanted to, on your recipe that you've made, you could always list your solid oils before your liquid oils. But I do it this way around. Whichever's the highest quantity of any ingredient, I list that one first. Because when I'm going to be doing my ingredients labels for my soap, I just need to copy off this ingredient list because they're already in order. If you're making an ingredients label, you always put the highest quantity first on the label. But we're not going to talk about that today because that's the business side of making soap, which is something that we will progress onto in the future. What we're doing now is we're hobby soap making for home, soap that we're not going to sell, because it's a whole massive kettle of fish once you start to decide selling. Because the fabulous part about all this is being creative and coming up with new recipes and designs and everything. Once you start selling, there's a whole nother world that you've got to delve into, and it's absolutely massive, that side of it. But we will progress onto that eventually. So what we're going to do is we're going to tear our scales and we're going to weigh out our coconut oil, and we know we want 225 grams of coconut oil. So let's do that. If you're in a very cold country and your coconut oil is solid, you would just spoon it in, but it just shows you how warm it is in here because this is almost liquid. And then we're going to tear the scales again. We're going to add 185 grams of palm oil. Palm oil and coconut oil are fantastic ingredients for soap. Don't be put off by sustainable palm oil. Nothing's being hurt in the production of it, and you're still giving people a job and a way to feed their families. Remember, these ingredients are coming mostly from third world countries, where farmers, just like we have farmers of beef and arable farming and sheep, other countries farm plants and oils, and they need their money to survive. And we don't want to be responsible for not being able to feed people's children. So always look for sustainable palm oil. Now this soap won't be sold in my shop because it's not one that I have a safety assessment for. If you're wondering about safety assessments, it's only for countries in the EU. But you can actually get safety assessments in other countries, like the USA. You can get safety assessments, so it's a good thing. And I think it'll put you in good stead if you're selling your soap to actually get a safety assessment for it. you know, you're going to need insurance and things like that. But again, that's the business side of actually soap making, and that's something we'll discuss eventually. Is that something you're interested in? Let me know in the comments down below the video. Right, that's our palm oil in there. Let's just press tear. Let's pop some avocado butter in there. We're just going to put 50 grams in there, because these oils and butters, these are your more expensive oils and butters. And they really are just for label appeal only, but they will add some nice qualities to your bar of soap. Obviously I'm using my fingers a lot today, because I'm just putting teeny amounts in. But this soap will just be used by us, it won't be sold at all. And it doesn't matter even if it was. My hands are very clean. Everything gets alcohol down, including my hands, before I start anything. And the only reason we wear gloves is actually for our protection. It's not a cleanliness thing. I mean, it could be a little bit of a cleanliness reason, but mostly it's just to protect yourself, because sodium hydroxide can burn the skin. So I'm not tearing, because I just know I need another 50 grams of this mango butter in there. So that's just going to go up to 100. 96, 97. Let's find some crumbs in there. There we are. So that's 100. Right, so these oils here are going to go in the microwave on 30-second increments until they're melted. Don't put your oils in the microwave and just press, or turn your dial to 20 minutes or something. You don't want to do that, because it does melt fairly quickly. No shea butter in here today. If I did have shea butter, I wouldn't have put it in this mix, but I'm just going to melt this very gently in the microwave. And we'll come back when that's melted, and I'll tell you how long it took to melt. Okay, so it actually took 4 minutes to melt those oils there. So I've just put the jug back on the scale, and I'm going to turn it on, because now we need to add our liquid oils. And I'm going to mark off on my recipe which oils I've already added. So we've added coconut, palm, avocado and mango. We still need to add olive oil, almond oil and castor oil. Now, olive oil is another fantastic ingredient for soap. It makes certain oils make your soap nice and strong. Some oils make your soap gentle. Other oils can make your soap go rancid easily. That's something we're going to discuss in the future, probably in the next episode actually. Again, if you're interested in that, let me know. But coconut oil, palm oil, olive oil, they're your 3 best ingredients for making soap. And if you want to keep it simple without adding lots of different oils, just make a beautiful bar of soap with coconut oil, palm oil and olive oil. You can't go wrong with it. Honestly, it'll make it fantastic soap. Right, so olive oil, we want 165 grams. And I'm just pouring this in straight out the bottle at room temperature. Tear your scale again. Just tick off the oil that you've just put in there. Next up is sweet almond oil. We're putting 150 grams of sweet almond oil. Always check and double check those weights to make sure you're putting the right amount in. These bottles are a nightmare to pour from, as you will have seen in the last video. Come on, change. There we are. You'd have to change to 150 eventually, and then tick that off, and then we're going to put 26 grams of castor oil. I know 150 add 26 is 176, so that's the measurement we're looking for. Have I gone over? Gone over, haven't I? It's no great loss. Now, before I take anything out of there, I'm just going to take that jug off there. I'm going to take another jug that's identical, and it's empty. I'm going to tear that down to 0. And I'm going to pop that jug on there, and that should say 851 grams, but it doesn't. It's over. See how different it can be when you do the tearing method. So we need to take quite a few grams out of there. We need to take 8 grams out of there. So I'm going to give it a mix, and that way I'll just be taking an even amount out of each oil that we put in there. We're at 854, there's 851. So now we know we have the exact right quantity of oil in our jug ready to make soap. Now it's time to mix the oils and the lye together. Right, this is the part where you need your gloves, your mask and your goggles. We're going to measure out and make up our lye solution. So we know that we need 212.75 grams of water. I'm just going to add 213 grams of water because your scales, they just go up in 1 gram increments. And having a little bit too much water is not going to hurt your recipe at all. So let's weigh 213 grams into there. I'm using distilled water today, but you can just use, while you're practicing, I know I always say it, just use water out the tap. Even if you do it, I've gone over again, not concentrating. Even if you do it to 12 grams, that'll be okay as well. It's neither here nor there, it's not even a gram. Right, you need a separate jug because we're now going to weigh our sodium hydroxide. and it's usually in granules. Sometimes it comes in flakes. I like the granules. A lot of people like to wear long sleeves when they are dealing with lye. I'm okay with it, because any granules of lye that jump up, they're going to get on your jumper anyway, whatever your long sleeves are. So any vapour, if it does touch your arms or your skin, just get it straight under the tap and wash it off. It's all your preference. Your safety is your responsibility, not mine. But I want you to be safe. Right, so our weight for sodium hydroxide today is 121 grams. It was 121.33, and that 33 is nearer to 121 than it is to 122, so that's why I'm doing 121. Just gently does it. Don't be ferocious with tipping it in, because that's what can make it more dangerous. If you're very heavy-handed, which I am very heavy-handed, it can go all over the place, but I'm never heavy-handed when it comes down to my lye. But don't let lye scare you away from learning how to make soap. It's not as scary as everybody makes out, but the point is, people have to tell you there is a bit of a danger there. Otherwise they wouldn't be doing their job responsibly, would they? Right, so we now need a nice metal spoon. Make sure there's no oils or anything stuck on your spoon, because that'll go straight into your lye solution. And then gently pour your lye into your water. And then as soon as it's all in, get your spoon in there and start stirring. You're probably bored stiff of seeing this in every video now, but I know soap making from scratch, each video does need to be from scratch so people can see what I'm actually doing. But we'll probably be using this in round about an hour. I'll just tell you what the temperature of it is now. It's 92 degrees Celsius. Really, the best thing to do is let both your oil and your lye solution cool down to room temperature. Room temperature is the best temperature to soap at. If you soap when your soap is too hot, like if I poured this lye into here now, it would still make great soap, but it would accelerate that fast, the batter. It would be fairly difficult to get it into the mold because it would get thick too quick. But some people do, you know, real professionals, they actually do it that way. But for us that have a little bit of extra time on our hands and we're just doing this as a hobby, time is of the essence, and we'll just wait until it all cools down to room temperature, and then we'll actually make some soap. So I just wanted to show you the pink clay I've got. Now it did come in this tub, but I just made the label for it. I absolutely adore the colour of pink clay. It is pink. It's a beautiful pastel pink, and it's used a lot in face masks. In fact, I've seen people sell this on its own in a pot for like 25, 30, 40, 50 quid for a pot of this stuff. And just tell people to mix some water in it and that makes a face mask. But that's those big posh brands for you. People must pay it, but they're not getting anything different to what we've got in here. Okay, now here's our pink clay. I'm going to let you into a little secret. This pink clay is years old and it's still as good as the day I bought it. Now, just a little bit of information about pink clay. It's rich in silica, which may help to improve skin elasticity and cell renewal, resulting in supple, younger looking skin, gently exfoliating and light on the skin. Pink clay leaves the skin feeling silky soft and smooth. Plus, it can help minimize blackheads and promote a radiant and balanced complexion. Now, although that is legitimate information about pink clay, we can't actually make those claims about our soap products unless we have them drug tested. We have to have, in the UK or EU, a safety assessment, and all that assessment is just to say that the recipe you are using is safe for sale in this country or around the world. Now, if you want to make such claims like anti-aging, you know, all those claims that people say about this and that, like shea butters are good, SPF, and it gets rid of lines and wrinkles, and it plumps up the skin and all this kind of thing, you have to have an official drug test. It's known as a drug test, and that's why a lot of skincare is expensive, because they've actually had as well as the safety assessment, they've had the drug tests on them, and that's why they can actually make claims on cosmetics. We're not allowed to do that unless we've actually had that drug test as well. Not us physically have the drug test, the cosmetic has to have the drug test, and they'll do tests to see that the claims that you are trying to make on your product actually work. And it's a good thing. You know, we can't just throw anything out there and say this is going to cure cancer, basically, unless it does cure cancer. So what you could do is, I think you could write the pink clay is reputed to be good for exfoliating and minimizing blackheads, but I don't know what the law is there, whether you can actually say reputed to be good for. Right, okay, let's get this soap made, shall we? So we've got our lye here, and these are our oils here. I said I was going to put 8 teaspoonfuls in, so that's what I'm going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What do you think? Is it going to be alright? I think it's going to be alright. Let's find out, shall we? So I've put that into the oils before I mix in my lye solution, but I'm going to be ready just in case it makes it accelerate quickly at all. I'm looking forward to, I'm hoping it's going to give it a bit of a different colour, because all the soap making from scratch soaps we've made so far have all been creamy coloured, haven't they? So I'm just wanting to give it a good blend, just hoping all those any clumps have gone. And then I'm going to add in my lye solution. Let's see what happens now. So we've definitely got some ribbons on the top there. I do notice some bits which are probably just bits that they haven't been ground down very well. But I think that'll add to the soap. Right, we're going to pour this because it's definitely a trace. So I just see a nice beigey colour. I don't know what's going to happen after saponification. We'll see. But I'm pretty sure the usage level of the pink clay will be fine, because you can actually sell pink clay as a whole on its own and just put it neat onto your face. So it must be safe. If it wasn't safe, we wouldn't be allowed to use it in soap. This is going to go into the oven at 170 degrees Fahrenheit, and then I'm going to turn the oven off and I'm going to leave it in overnight, hoping that the soap gels, and we'll be ready to cut this tomorrow. But for you, it'll be coming out the oven right now. Okay, for me it's the next day, for you it's the next second, and it's time to unmould. Now I notice on the top we've got a bit of, looks a bit like a planet thing going on, and I don't know whether it's going to be like that underneath. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping it'll just be the top. So let's have a look and find out. That looks pretty smooth, doesn't it? Just the top that looks a bit weird. So let's cut this baby up and see what we've got. Nothing wrong with that. Nice smooth looking bar of soap. Nice colour. It's not pink, it's definitely beige. See those little speckles I was talking about? It's a beautiful bar of soap, but we'll see how it performs when we use it right at the end. We'll go and have a go with it in the sink under the tap, which is what I do with all of the soaps I make in the Soap Making from Scratch series. And I always do it as soon as I've cut them, so they're only going to improve once they've cured, and you need to do about a 4-week cure, 4 to 6 weeks. And a cure is just so all the water can dry out of the bar, so the bar will shrink a little. During the curing time. Okay, it's time to test the bar. It really does feel smooth and silky and just gorgeous. I really do think this would make a beautiful facial soap as well as body. That's just cold water I'm rinsing with there. As usual, it's got a beautiful slip, doesn't stick to hairs on your arms. It just feels silky and smooth and clean, because after all, that's what a bar of soap does, it cleans. Yeah, it just, I would say it's probably my second best recipe that we've done so far in Soap Making from Scratch. My favourite recipe is the Aleppo soap, but it's a very, very expensive bar. Ingredients alone, we're talking £5. That's a very expensive bar of soap to make. So this one, yeah, is definitely my second favourite. But you'll notice with all of the soaps we've done so far, the lather has been very, very similar on all of them. The one with the higher coconut oil in maybe was a little bit sticky, but I'm pretty sure after cure that stickiness will have gone. So that's the only thing that stands out to me really from all of the soaps we've made. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want a copy of the recipe, just send me a message through my website and I'll send you the PDF. It doesn't matter who you are or how long you've been making soap, even if you've been making soap for 30 years, even if you're on YouTube and you're the biggest soaper on YouTube and you want to try my recipe, no problem. Just get in touch through the website and I'll send you the PDF. So another perfect ending to a perfect day. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I'll see you very soon for another video from Eden's Secret. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share and place a comment down below the video, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye for now.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweet